Welcome to the Exceptional Leadership Podcast. I'm your host, Anita Brooks, and here you'll find teaching topics, interviews, conversations, and coaching tips, all designed to help you level up. We all lead someone. The question is, are we leading well, exceptionally well? So join me on a quest, not for perfection, but absolutely for exceptional leadership. I am so happy that we get to talk about marketing performance and measurable results today. I love marketing. Now, I'm going to be honest. I don't necessarily love it for me, but I love teaching my clients how to not just market, but market exceptionally well in a way that does produce measurable results. Now, not everything's measurable. There are immeasurables. There are benefits that can take place, but there are many that you can track. And so we're going to talk about some of that today. But I want to talk first, I want to tell you a story about something that recently happened that, frankly, it broke my heart. And also it's going to force me to confess a couple of things to you. But I feel like in the spirit of transparency and integrity that I need to share this. So very, very recently, I had a situation occur where one of my business coaching clients, and I've helped them with a lot of leadership training. I've helped them with a lot of net profitability work. We've talked about some of their processes. But the one area we really haven't gotten into much is marketing. And so I hadn't really talked about it. And I've not been so good in the past at letting folks know exactly what all P4 Power Coaching can do. But marketing is actually one of our fortes. So I'm a little bit embarrassed that I have to confess this, but I hadn't told many that we did marketing at all, what some of the aspects of our marketing scopes included, and how those results have helped many of our past clients. So this particular business fell into that category. They just didn't know. So I'm on a Zoom call with them, and they just kind of blurt out that they just hired a marketing firm. And I was like, what? I mean, I was a little stunned. And they were like, yeah, is that a problem? And I'm like, well, no, not at all. I'm just a little surprised. So do you mind telling me what all is involved in this marketing scope, this contract that you're doing with this company? And so they begin to share some details from the contract that they've signed. And lo and behold, there was nothing that this company offered that P4 Power Coaching doesn't do. As a matter of fact, it's sad to say, and I definitely will not mention this company's name because I would not do that. But I was a little saddened to realize that this company had put a lot of fluff into the contract. So they actually repeated some elements of what they offer to make it look more. And a lot of what they were saying, what they were promising was frankly very basic, but they used a lot of fancy, big, sometimes complicated verbiage to make it appear as if it was a lot more than what it really was. And my heart just sunk. I felt so bad. I felt awful for my client because frankly, for, my company, we would have done it for half the price. And we're not cheap, not at all. We just do not believe in gouging. We would have done it for half the price and we would have done 3 times more the work and we would have gotten greater results. I'm convinced of it. And my coaching client, when he was sharing all this, he's like, well, Anita, he goes, what are you thinking? And And so I was very careful in what I said because I never want to detract from another business. And I said, well, it sounds like a good plan, and we'll be here to support you and everything. And he's like, are you sure? And I said, well, honestly, I said, this is some of the kind of the work that we do. And he's like, you're kidding me. And I said, no. He goes, why didn't I know this? And he goes, if I would have known, I would have talked to you. And he goes, oh my gosh, I would have much rather have done this with you. And I already know the kind of results that you get. Oh my gosh, Anita. And I said, well, I have to take responsibility. I have to own this because I did not clearly communicate to you that we offered this kind of work. And I said, so I have to own it. And he said, and I said, but honestly, we would have done it for probably half the price of what you're paying. And I said, we would have included more in our package. And he said, Anita, I would have paid you and your team double because I have worked with you. I know the kind of work that you do. Well, it was a little bit of a kick in the gut. I'm not going to lie. It was tough to swallow, but it was also a great learning lesson. So I'm not dwelling on it. Look, I'm going to support the work that this other company is doing. I am going to cheerlead my client from the sidelines. I'm going to support either one of them if I can in any way possible. But I also feel like that the valuable learning lesson that I gleaned from this can not only help me, but I think it might be able to help you. Because as leaders, whether or not our leadership label follows in the marketing realm or not, we still have a certain level of responsibility to help drive marketing performance and make sure it's producing measurable results. So whether or not marketing is your forte, you still need to be able to lead the people in the marketing department. So I have a few tips that I want to share with you today that I just know that I know from many, many years of experience and a lot of successes, that these are some things that can help drive your marketing to greater heights. You don't want to get caught in that trap of slapping a bunch of things against the wall and just hoping and praying something sticks. And when you're slapping those things, you're paying money for it. Don't waste dollars. Make sure that you are measuring. So I'm going to give you a few tips. One is anytime someone proposes a marketing contract or scope, if you do not have pre-experience with them, so if you don't already have a successful track record in some capacity with them, then I suggest getting a second opinion before you sign a contract. Sometimes it's amazing what we don't know that we don't know. My client is just such an example. In all likelihood, if he would have thought about getting a second opinion, he probably either would have talked to me directly, or he would have talked to someone else that would have triggered something in his thinking that probably would have caused him to do that. And so that's a way that, we probably could have not only saved him a lot of money, but made him a lot more money too. The other thing is to be intentional to seek measurable results. You want to make sure that anytime you are undertaking any kind of marketing, that there's some kind of measurement in place. Now, when I talk about measurements, I just want to remind you too that, measurements can come in various forms. They can come in the form of dollars. They can come in the form of, date stamps with goal deadlines. They can come in the form of productivity or performance numbers, but make sure that there's some kind of measurable results that you're keeping your finger on the pulse of, so that you're not just throwing money into a marketing abyss. Something else is, and this comes straight from this story, don't undervalue yourself or what you have to offer. That was something too. I'm telling him I would have charged you half the price. He's telling me I perceive your value to be double what I'm paying this company. So make sure that you really are offering the value of what you're worth and what your offering is worth. And don't hold back. Promote what you can do to help others. See, I missed the boat on this one. It's something I will correct going forward. It will not happen again, but I did not promote that marketing is an area of expertise for P4 Power Coaching. So what is it for you that when you're doing marketing that you can promote that will truly, genuinely help other people that maybe you've not communicated well? Learn from my mistake and do it better than I have. Something else is be willing to share your business's imperfections, flaws, and struggles. You know, what I've just done as an example of that, but let me give you another sampling of something that I do with some of my coaching clients. So I actually have multiple clients in the resort hospitality world. So I actually have three core focal industries that I work with. Now, I do work with others. I work with manufacturing. I work with law enforcement, emergency services, death investigators, some of those industries. But the three core industries I focus on are resort/hospitality, banking, finance, and healthcare. Now, that might seem a little weird, but for me, there's a natural connection because going backwards, if you look at the healthcare, that's helping enhance the physical health of human beings. Finance, banking is improving the financial health of human beings. And then resort hospitality is helping improve the mental and emotional health of human beings. So you see all of that for me ties to making healthier and happier people. So that's why those are my areas. But going back to the story, so the weather with a couple of my current coaching clients in the resort industry has caused pretty significant flooding. And so one of the instincts for a lot of these types of businesses is, oh, I can only show my best business face. I don't want to show when we're struggling. I don't want to show when floodwaters are inside our store or our reservation area or our cabins or our campground or whatever it is. I only want to show when we've got everything pristine and clean and ready to invite our customers and welcome them in. But that's a fallacy. You see, what I did is I encouraged two of my clients to video themselves doing a walkthrough and showing some of the flood conditions, showing where the water's reached, showing what's happening real time. But in addition to that, reminding their customers that this is kind of, normal business for them. This time of year, it's spring. There's oftentimes a lot of flooding that happens. But they also talk about how they're prepared to go do the cleanup and get everything ready. And that by the time season rolls around, because one of the things that I teach them to say is, remember, floodwaters recede as fast as they rise. So if floodwaters flash and they come up quickly, they're going to fall quickly. They're going to drop fast. But if it's a slow churning buildup, like with a bigger river that can happen because there's a lot of smaller tributaries that have to pour in before it reaches that point of overflowing its banks, then it's going to be a much slower drop back into normal conditions. So I have them tell people these type of things. One, people are always fascinated by weather events. So they like watching it. But two, there's a comfort and a confidence level that comes from just understanding that you have that expertise, that this is not something that turns your world upside down. You're used to it. You know how to deal with it, and you will make sure that everything is ready for them when the time comes. So they have gotten fantastic engagement as a result of this. Well, something else that they will do in my work with them is I'm going to have them go back after they've done the cleanup, after everything does look pristine. I'll have them do another brief video walkthrough. They'll reference back to the original flood video and the date that it posted. And they'll talk about the difference so that people can see with their own eyes that it's not just mere empty words or promises, that they really do know what they're doing. They do have their act together. And that type of thing will give them like double the mileage out of their marketing efforts. And it will increase engagements. And I can tell you, I've done this thing with many, many clients, and it will 100% expand their reach. There are people who tag others who've never followed before that then start becoming raving fans. I've repeated and rewatched this over and over again, with great results for clients. So maybe there's that type of thing that can help you with your marketing efforts in your business. But anytime you can share an inspiring story about your business, it's going to help further interest. And video is a great way to do it. Video, not only do we hear the voice inflections, the tone, the decibel, the energy in our voices, but in video, we also get to see facial expressions, maybe a little body language, and then we get to see examples of what it is that we're talking about. So I love encouraging my clients to do marketing videos. And a little confession, this is an area too that I've been weak in, and I can assure you that's changing too. So you will be seeing more videos from me if you follow me anywhere on social media. But I have some clients, like I have a manufacturing company, and they've got a fascinating story about how they've created this unique process that no one else has ever done that actually makes certain metals less brittle, and it strengthens the structure of them. And there's a chemical transference that takes place because of the way that they do this, and they make these molecular changes to the product. And I mean, how cool is that? It's fascinating. It's different, but for their potential customers, it also speaks why their product should be the one that they buy, that they purchase. And so what is it that you can do that's going to demonstrate how your products or services are set apart from others? Is there something in your quality? Is there a fascinating story? Is there a patented process or part that you've created? Is there a uniqueness that you bring to your services? Again, I'll go to my own example. There are a lot of business coaches out there, but I'm the only one who has spent years developing a highly effective personality program. So P4 Personality Perspective, I not only teach people about human personality, but I teach in business how to use it for the highest and best good in training people, in understanding people, in improving communication, reducing conflicts, in improving efficiencies, job fits, hiring practices, marketing, customer care. If there's a person or a human being involved, the P4 Personality Perspective can benefit it. And so it's become a foundational part of everything that I do. Well, P4 Power Coaching is the only company out there that has that we bring to the table. So that's another way that you can use videos to really talk about those things that you do that maybe no one else is, or maybe very few are. So what is it that makes you the expert in your field or your industry or your offerings that's going to draw attention to you? And if it's something that you might have thought is a negative, I want you to really challenge yourself and ask, is there a way to take that negative and turn that into a positive, like I do with my resort clients who deal with floodwaters? Okay, so let's go into some practical steps. So I'm going to give you 12 steps that are going to help you understand how you can better drive marketing performance and measure your results. So one is track your marketing campaign results. Measure the success of campaigns by tracking key performance indicators, KPIs. You probably heard that term. If not, you can look it up. You can Google it. But tracking key performance indicators such as your click-through rates or conversion rates or cost per acquisitions and customer lifetime values. If you want to understand that, I can tell you that at P4 Power Coaching, we have a resource that can help you pretty simply go through a formula that we've put together that can help you measure the customer's lifetime value to your business. Send me an email at info at anitabrooks.com, info at anitabrooks.com, and just say, hey, could I get that resource where you assess customer value? We'll be happy to send that out to you. 2 is analyze customer data. You know, a lot of my clients or other businesses that I talk to, it's crazy how much customer data we have that we don't mine and we don't actually use it for something. Like I've worked with clients that they've been, you know, accumulating emails for years and they've never sent out one email marketing campaign. That's a mistake because statistically, consumers buy 50 to 1 from email marketing versus social media marketing. Now, there's a time and a place and there's a need for social media marketing, but I'm just telling you, if you have email addresses and you're not utilizing those, you're missing out. But use your customer data to segment customers and create some targeted campaigns so you can increase your conversions. Be very specific in figuring out, you know, who and how and when you want to market to people. And think about your ideal preferred avatar. This is another unique piece that I bring into my marketing coaching scopes. So I help my clients identify their ideal preferred avatar. The avatar is the persona or representation of your average customer. And your ideal preferred avatar is that average customer that you want doing business with you and referring you to others. So we help figure out who that is because once we understand that, then we can get into the emotions of that individual. And I'm telling you right now, if we peel enough layers off of any consumer's purchase, we will always find emotion at the heart of it. People will tell themselves that they're making practical decisions when they buy, but there's always an emotional element. And if you don't tap into that, then your marketing is going to be missing a very important piece, and some of it's going to fall really flat. 3, track your website performance. Track the visitor behaviors. See how long that they're staying on your site. What are the pages that they're viewing? And what's the bounce rate so that you can identify maybe some areas that could be improved, but you also can identify areas where you can magnify your strengths and maybe you can promote some of that more. Maybe you share specific links to certain pages because you know that is high traffic. That's great engagement for the people who are coming. 4, monitor search engine rankings. Track and analyze your website's search engine rankings and determine the effectiveness of your SEO efforts. SEO is search engine optimization. That simply means if somebody's typing in a search term, how are you going to rank? If you're not at least on page 1, you got a lot of work to do. It can be done, but you need to be very intentional and you need to get in there and get some things in place. Preferably, and this is the goal my team and I always have when we're working to help improve SEO for a business's website, is we want you ranking in the top 5 minimum, preferably in the top 3. We want you above the fold so that when someone Googles something, that your business pops up right in front of their eyes. They don't have to scroll anywhere to look for it. And very, very, very few people will go to a second page. So SEO matters, and there are some very specific technology-based things that you can do, as well as some artistry and understanding the emotional tugs of the heart in some of the verbiage for your industry, for your business that we help you define so that you can determine the best ways to set the SEO up so it drives more traffic to your website, but not just any traffic, driving preferred ideal avatars to your site. 5, track advertising performance. Measure the effectiveness of digital campaigns and advertising channels by tracking the impressions, the clicks. If you're doing paid ads, the cost per click, and conversions, how many people are actually buying. When you begin to track the paid advertisements, the performance of that, oftentimes you can quickly catch some areas where you're wasting money, and you can convert that to a place that's going to get better results for you. So make sure that early and often you are tracking that performance. 6, monitor social media performance. A lot of people just throw posts up there, but they don't really pay attention to the metrics. Look at the engagement. How many likes, shares, comments are you getting? How many followers are you adding? What is happening with some of those specific posts? And then when you look at that, if you know that you have a post that's doing well, don't just, post it once and forget it. Go back a couple of months later and post it again. A lot of times we tell ourselves, oh, well, people have already seen that. Well, some people missed it the first time around, and some people don't mind the reminder. So if it was highly engaging the first time, do not hesitate. Give it an appropriate span of time in between, but then go ahead and post again. You'll be amazed at how much that can increase the results that you get from that. But if you're not tracking engagement metrics, then you're not going to know which of those posts are going to get you the best results. 7, use A/B split testing. So a lot of people aren't familiar with this whenever I first start working with their businesses, but it's where you test different versions of similar content, either in social media posts or emails or web pages. But the reason that you tweak it a little bit, because sometimes just a few different inflections can make a difference in whether people really engage or whether it drives them to convert from just a viewer to a buyer. So you want to make sure that there are some calls to action that are built in, and you want to make sure that that's done in such a way that people feel drawn to buy from you. They're drawn to what it is that you're putting out there. And so the A/B testing, that kind of split testing, can really tell you a lot. And then what it does is not just from that post, but then you start to begin to see patterns when you do this over a few of these. And if it's something that sounds overwhelming to you, don't be overwhelmed. There are companies like mine out there that can help you with it. Look, send an email, info@anitabrooks.com, if you're interested in getting some quotes on some marketing scopes. But I'm not here just trying to sell your business. I'm trying to help you. You can do this on your own. It's just not everybody wants to. Not everybody feels the capability to do that. And if that's you, I just want you to know we're here to help. Number 8, measure your ROI, the return on your investment. Calculate the ROI of each of your marketing campaigns. And look, it's not an exact science, but if you start tracking revenue that's generated within, say, a 60 or 90-day time span of certain marketing campaigns, and then you offset that by the costs and expenses you've incurred, very quickly, you're going to be able to get a good feel and some historical data to help you determine whether or not you want to duplicate that kind of marketing effort in the future. But make sure that you're measuring the ROI of marketing campaigns, because oftentimes, if you do, not only can you decide not to do something again, but it might drive you to repeat something that you wouldn't have otherwise. Number 9, monitor customer feedback. Track and respond to customer feedback so it improves the satisfaction and loyalty that you get from your followers. So a lot of folks, let's talk online reviews. So Google reviews, website reviews, social media reviews, Yelp, TripAdvisor. It depends on what kind of business you're in. But whatever kind of reviews you're getting, I will say this. Sometimes my clients are hesitant to say anything when they get a really, really bad review, or especially if they feel defensive. They feel like, well, this guy or gal's being a jerk and that wasn't really what happened and I need to defend myself, or I'm just going to ignore it. I don't advise either one of those. I simply advise a very short, sweet, professional, and dignified response. Something as simple as, we're so sorry that this is your perspective of your experience. We work very hard to try to make sure that our customers or clients are happy. Thankfully, we obviously have done that for some folks due to the other positive reviews we've gotten. But, this was not your experience and we deeply apologize. Something to that effect. And then leave it. Just let it go. Don't get into an online debate. One of the worst things that you can do as a business. Also remember that a lot of times your other customers and clients will come to your defense. They will rise to the occasion if someone's attacking you. So don't worry about that. And then I'll just give you like another little marketing tip. When you get a chance, sometimes it's really beneficial to go look at some of your competitors' reviews, and particularly their negatives, and see what you can learn from it. Is there a pattern to what people are complaining about their business? And then decide to do it better. Set yourself apart. Put yourself in a position of what I call preventables, where you're preventing that kind of scenario or experience for people who come to your place of business. It can be a great learning tool. Number 10, use analytical tools. So Google Analytics is a great way to track and measure website data to identify any areas that need improvement, or again, to capitalize on your strengths. But those kind of technological resources can give you information and insights that you would not gain any other way. So please, please, please do your analytics. 11, monitor competitive performance. I call this benchmarking, but compare your performance against competitors and identify your areas of strength and your areas of weakness and adjust your marketing strategies accordingly. And really look at what is unique about you and what is similar about you, and speak to the uniquenesses, but don't fail to share the similarities as well. But when you measure your competitive performance against others, oftentimes what you start realizing when you start looking more closely at their online profiles, some of their marketing materials, there may be things that you've forgotten to communicate that you can do for people as well. So it's a great way to look at that. And then finally, 12 is be willing to buy one, give one. This is something that I'm proud to say that I do very well. It's something I'm committed to. I'm extremely intentional. So I tithe some of the unique benefits of my time, talents, and treasures to those maybe who don't have the financial resources that some of my larger clients do. Or maybe they're really struggling, or they're just a small startup. And so I will offer a deep discount. So for every large coaching package that I sell, I give a nice discount to a startup or a struggling business. And by doing that, my client of that bigger package, they get to be a part of helping make the world a better place, one business at a time. My mission for P4 Power Coaching is really simple. I want to increase the income, prime the profits, and strengthen the sustainability of American businesses. And when my coaching clients partner with me, then they also get to help reach back and lend a helping hand to those who are coming up behind. And I just love knowing that we can make a difference that way. I believe we get what we give. And that is powerfully true in business, as well as in life and love. And one thing I know, you can measure your success by the amount you get to give away in discounts or even a few freebie resources. So think about that, because that's a unique, kind of different way to measure your marketing efforts. But when you market yourself genuinely, authentically, as someone who is there to truly help your fellow man, then I believe it pays off in benefits, and I believe it absolutely will help blacken your bottom line. Well, I hope you've gotten a lot out of helping to drive your marketing performance and measure results. Again, there will be many immeasurables when you're putting effective marketing out in the world, but there are many things you can track. Don't fail to do that, to make sure that you stay aligned and that you're really progressing toward the destination you want to reach. And as you are priming your net profits, keep in mind too, ask yourself, challenge yourself, how can I also make a greater difference in the world? How can I express my gratitude for the blessings I've received by pouring into others? Until next time, stay intentional and be exceptional. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Exceptional Leadership Podcast. There's magic in meeting with an objective, and I always have an objective for you, not only in these episodes, but also from the other resources I offer on my website, anitabrooks.com. That's ANITABROOKS.com. There you'll find information on digital courses, webinars, books, workbooks, of course, my in-person P4 power coaching for businesses and organizations. And if you need a speaker for your conference or your strategic retreat, I'm your gal. But I'm also excited to let you know about a new service that we're offering. For less than half the price of a daily Starbucks latte for a month, you can join our P4 Power Coaching community. This is a monthly membership where you'll get insider tips. And you'll also be able to join our monthly Zoom meetings that are one part strategy sessions, one part mastermind, one part networking, one part coaching. I can promise you, you'll not only learn from me, but you'll learn from others in the group. We'll also have monthly webinars as part of the P4 Power Coaching community, and we'll have coaching resources and exercises. And you'll get first opportunities and special offers for many of the other things that we have to offer. And of course, you will get leadership encouragements. The P4 Power Coaching community is all about growth, success, and celebrating our wins. And remember, it's never too late for a fresh start with fresh faith. So embrace your exceptional leadership impact with fresh resolve to make the difference you were made for.